What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Mark 22, or the WH Mark 22. This is going to be a new heavy machine gun mod by Skibida. This guy's made a bunch of mods in the past, and now we are checking out this brand new one. We did see some work in progress pictures for this, and now we do finally have a finalized release. So even though the name of the mod is the Mark 22, there actually is two weapons in this mod. This, the Mark 22, which you can see right now, as well as the Mark 19. That's going to be kind of a lower end, not firing as big of a caliber. The Mark 22 is going to be firing a 50 caliber, the other one's 308 and 5mm, and it's just kind of two separate guns that are very similar, but again, the Mark 22 being the little bit kind of a bigger brother version. So as you can see, this thing is extremely high quality. A lot of Skibida's recent mods have been very high quality. The textures and the model on this thing are on point. There are a ton of different attachments for this as well, so you could really customize the barrels and just some of the other features of the gun, but definitely is a very cool and interesting looking gun. And again, you could really make this a little bit more unique. You definitely can kind of go down a certain path with this weapon. So with all that being said, let's actually take a look at this thing in first person, or well, that's third person, but regardless, it is a pretty big gun. So to get the whole picture, as you can see, it definitely is going to be a heavy machine gun on par with something like the minigun. Let's take a listen to it though. So it's actually the explosive rounds. It's one of the different modifications you can make to the gun, as well as I actually have some other modifications, which we'll go over in a little bit. Let's actually check out one of the other versions I do have here. So this is another modification you can make to the gun, but this is going to be like a little shield you could put on it. This is the, I think this is the smaller one, or I don't know. There's a small one and a large one, regardless. As you can see, it has kind of the same sound. It's just going to be a little bit faster paced. This one, I believe, is the rapid variant, where the other one was just kind of a normal variant. And again, those are both the Mark 22, and now the Mark 19. So as you can see, this is going to be a bit smaller. If I actually switch back and forth between the two, it's just kind of a smaller version of the gun, firing a smaller caliber. As far as the kind of barrel goes, that's, well, let's actually take a listen. So as you can see, this one actually sounds pretty cool. And again, that barrel there, all these different barrels are different weapon attachments. So I could put any of these barrels on each of these different guns. And as you can see, again, all around pretty cool. The Mark 22 is going to be the big boy gun here, as you can see. While this one, the Mark 19, is going to be not as powerful, but still to be doing pretty good damage. And obviously still a pretty heavy machine gun. This is probably around the same size as the minigun. This one is a little bit bigger than the minigun, although kind of, you know, there's nothing else to compare it to. With all that being said, let's check out some of the weapon attachments you can do with this thing. So now here in the weapons workbench, we do have the three different guns right here. As you can see, the Mark 19 and the two Mark 22s. As you can see, you could do some serious damage. This is going to be the fully upgraded one, and 284 damage per shot on a heavy machine gun like this with a pretty high rate of fire, with a pretty crazy range, is definitely nothing to joke around about. You'll be taking down even the highest level enemies pretty quickly with that thing. But let's actually take a look at this one. So as you can see, this is going to be the Mark 22 again, and these are the different barrel options or receiver options you do have here. You have an automatic, a rapid, which actually this does have a trade-off because it's going to greatly improve your rate of fire here. As you can see, that's about, I don't know, 20, 25, 30% increase in your rate of fire, as well as you do have these ones, which are also going to bump up your rate of fire. The rapid one, again, versus the automatic one, but the damage is the same for both. Then we do have a bunch of different barrel options. So we do have the water-cooled barrel, as you can see right there, which actually does look really cool. And then we do have the short barrel, which is kind of what you'd expect on a gun like this probably. Then you do have a ported barrel, which is what I was using in the little intro bit there. Then we do have long variants of those three. So as you can see, the long water-cooled barrel is pretty cool. Definitely going to be a very unique looking barrel there. And it has a narrow spread, low range, and low recoil. So as you can see, some different trade-offs for all of these. Obviously, the ported barrel is going to have kind of the longest range out of the bunch, I believe, yeah. And then the long barrel and the water-cooled barrel have different kind of pros and cons compared to that one. But if you want to shoot far, use the ported barrel. And we do have the magazine. You just have two magazines here. You have the expanded and the standard. Nothing too crazy there. Relatively simple. You do have the sight. So I was using the gunner sight in that little intro bit. You actually can have no sight attached. That's what I was doing on this gun. And the other one I did have a sight attached. Or you could also just have a reflex dot or circle there, which again, pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. Then we also do have some pretty crazy weapon or barrel attachments. So as you can see, we have that massive bayonet there. Then you also do have the compensator, the muzzle brake, Or if you want all three, you could do the Assault Combi Muzzle. So this is actually just going to attach all three of them to your gun in one big go. So as you can see, that thing looks pretty cool. It looks like that could be like a weapon in itself. It's so large on this weapon, but definitely looking pretty cool. I definitely like that. And then as with a lot of Skibidus mods, we also do have a bunch of materials. I didn't have any on the I didn't have these on any of the guns I was using in the intro. Regardless, we have the Rusty variant, which is going to minus 25% damage. You'll find this on some lower level enemies, and then you do have all the other variants. And as you can see, with that shield on, it looks absolutely crazy with these on. So as you can see, you could put it on all the different ones. The flame one, though, on that shield looks very cool. And then we do have some of the different ammo types. We do have explosive rounds. We do have JSP rounds, so that's going to be standard jacketed soft point rounds. Then we do have full metal jacket rounds, jacketed hollow point rounds, and AP rounds. So these all have different trade-offs. If you just want flat out high damage, that one, obviously the high explosive rounds going to be explosive and high damage. Full metal jacket rounds best for armored enemies, and you know, each of these have their own little intricacies. These are for like soft targets like humans and ghouls, and then armor piercing rounds are even more armor piercing for like power armored enemies, while the FMJ has more damage. And yeah. So then we do have the last attachment here, and that's going to be that awesome ballistic shield. So as you can see, I was using the smaller one. Then you do have the large ballistic shield right here. As you can see, this is going to do 65, or it's going to have 65 damage resistance, or this one 35 damage resistance. So it's going to be basically like an armor for your character, just like you would have a normal armor on. Well, now the weapon in your hand is going to also offer you an armor. So as you can see, that's actually a really cool feature. I really like that, and especially for a big heavy gun like this, where you want to kind of be not super mobile, pretty stationary, just kind of laying down fire on some enemies. Over here we do have the alternative version. This is the MK19, as you can see, and this one is going to have a few different options, the 308 or the 5mm here. And if you want to do the most damage, you're probably going to want to use the 308 out of the two, it seems like. Yeah. And then we do have, again, some of the kind of same barrel options. It's pretty much all the same. It's just kind of smaller, like on a just flat out smaller scale than compared to the other one. We do have the standard magazine. We'll put the extended magazine on there. We do have the same sights and all that, same muzzles. Everything is large in part the same, just again going to be a little bit smaller. Which one is appropriate for the small gun here, though? I guess the navy trim, sure. And then you do have the different rounds. You can do AP rounds. You need Demolition Expert. Also, I didn't mention that, which actually kind of makes it nice because you have to be pretty late in the game to get these high explosive rounds if you really wanted them. I'll just use jacketed hollow point rounds. And then you also can put the ballistic shield on this one if you so desired. So that's pretty much all the weapon mods. Now let's actually go check it out in action. So now at Spectacle Island, I do have a bunch of enemies here. You guys have probably seen this fight in some of my other videos. We have a bunch of, what are those guys called? Gunners, and a bunch of Brotherhood of Steel. I do have the 3 different guns kitted out here. We do have this guy, which is like the big boy. This one should have been high explosive probably, huh? I didn't even think about that because it has all the flames on it. But this is just going to be the, I think the jacketed hollow point rounds there. As you can see, that sound, it's very, very like vicious and violent. Then we do, this one is explosive. As you can see right to there, this one just kind of standard. I put the desert camo on it, and the camos really do look quite cool, especially with the shield on. I think the shield really just makes the camo, if I actually go in the sun, look quite cool indeed. I actually really like the look of that. And then last but certainly not least, we have the little guy down here. Little, but take a look at this. Definitely gonna be packing a serious punch. And then we do have the reload right there. And yeah, so with all that being said, though, let's get right into things. I'm gonna try. I bet I could kill a ton of the Brotherhood of Steel if I want to. But you know what? Let's go and try and take down some of these guys. See what kind of. Oh God, someone's shooting with the flamethrower. I cannot see him at all. I think this might be one of those guns you want to use in third person here, because I can't see anything with this. And as you can see, we can lay down some fire on these guys. That shield probably going to be doing some work right now. I got to reload though, so let's do that really quickly. And we'll run over here. As you run inside, I'll actually switch to the smaller version of this gun, the MK19 or the Mark 19, and let's actually lay down some fire on these guys. And as you can see, this thing is, I think this actually might be my favorite, even though it is kind of the weakest of the bunch. It is really satisfying to use. My goodness. This is actually quite a bit of fun. But now, let's take out the explosive one, and let's actually go try and take down some of the Brotherhood of Steel. Hello. And that guy can go away. And let's actually, again, try and shoot some of these Brotherhood of Steel who, oh my god, look, they're just melting under this thing. That's funny. And we'll shoot some of these other guys. And suddenly it's all quiet. And oh my god, that's crazy. That thing does ridiculous damage. That's what I was saying before. Did I break my leg? I'm walking off slow suddenly. Wow, it looks like the Brothers of Steel like melt away with this thing. And I could go in third person. I don't know why it's like glitching out. I think because my leg's broken, it might be glitching out in third person now, which is okay. Not too big of a deal. We do obviously have that, whatchamacallit. Oh, there you go. My leg's not broken anymore. Yeah, now it's back to normal. And we can finish that guy off and then run away. As you can see, we're actually quite quick, despite us, you know, having this massive gun in our hands. And we can actually lay down some more fire. I'm sure if you had... Oh, here's the flamethrower dude. Or another flamethrower dude. And as you can see, we took out one of the guys I didn't even mean to shoot. Which is just showing how fun this gun could be to use. And we could just lay down some fire this way. Switch to the high explosive one. Oh, I think I blew myself up with it before. That must be what happened. And as you can see, we got a few guys left. Let's see. Is that enough to finish all of them off? Oh my god. That is crazy. That's like, it's not cheap though, so it almost makes it balanced. But that seems to be about everyone. There's a few random dudes left. And this one, I think I might like the sound of this one the most. And we'll finish him off. And is that everyone? Might be everyone. I think there might be one guy. Oh, there you go. One dude with a gamma gun trying to take me down. But yeah, all around a very cool gun. Definitely going to be unique in the sense that, whoa, that actually hurts. Definitely going to be unique in the sense that it is one of the few guns that is actually going to be a heavy machine gun. We don't have many heavy machine gun mods. Definitely the kind of least modded category with the M2 heavy machine gun. But otherwise, yeah, pretty much it. That's probably one of the most fun mods I've used in a while. Definitely worth a download. I don't know if it's out on Xbox One just yet. The mod author did say it is coming very shortly, though, so look forward to that. But yeah, definitely worth the download. The MK22 and 18. Thanks for watching.